Morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me on Sunday Funday. We're going to get started. We've got a lot to accomplish today in a very short amount of time. About 45 minutes of workout. We're going to bring our best to you so you get best from you. How's that for catchy? All right. Now, to get started, we're going to come facing sideways to the mat, and we're going to have a nice tall position. How we're going to get there is by separating the feet a little wider than hip width apart. You're going to take your toes and kind of step them in so they point at the midline of your body. You're going to bring some straightness to the knees. You're going to bring some elevation to the shoulders. And then we're going to open up the shoulders by opening to the chest. So I want you to separate your fingers nice and widely, and then we're going to spiral to turn those thumbs of ours so that the palms face forward. Now bring a little cupping to your finger so they're slightly rounded. Nice. Now, once again, we're going to elevate the shoulders. We're going to bring straightness to the lower body, and then we're going to take the arms, keeping them long, not bending through the elbows, and pull those hands backwards as we begin to engage these muscles. I'd like you to take your chest and make it proud. And then take a big breath in, and then let the arms sweep forward all the way up. Opening up this body of ours. We'll take a few minutes to do this and enjoy it all the way along. Now, take your right hip, push it to the side. So we're pushing it to the right side. We're going to take the right arm. We're going to sweep it across so that the fingertips of the right hand reach to touch the left hand, not vice versa. And then come back up to the center. Separate the hands, shoulder width apart. Left hip pushes out. And then we're going to sweep the left hand downward to meet the right fingertips. If we can get there, that's great. If it doesn't quite get there, it's just a work in progress. We accept that today, right? Back up straight, lower the arms, draw up the shoulders, and then let's have a quick conversation about inward rotation. So inward rotation is when our body starts to rotate inwardly. So today we're going to practice outward rotation of the spine, elevation, and then we're going to work on our shoulders a lot today. So, and I'm not doing this because Anne loves shoulder work, just because I think it's a great thing to do. Now, let's come back to that position before. Cup the fingers, make sure they're nice and wide, just like a big cat claw, right? Now draw the arms back, crowd out the chest, and now we're going to add in. I want you to take an imaginary string on the top of the head and pull it towards the sky as you puff out that chest wound. And now hollow out the belly, pull the belly button in towards the spine, and then sweep the arms forward and up, and then sideways again, just to kind of give a perspective of inward rotation. Think of exterior rotation, that spine elongating, the shoulders pulling off the chest itself, rotating backwards. You're going to take the hands and start to spiral them so the palms face forward. And then we're going to take the palms and continue to rotate them so that they're an external. The arms can fall out a little bit on this. This is perfectly normal. So we have a certain range of motion relative to that joint, shoulder joint, of course. Now, lower the hands shoulder height. Flip the palm to the sky. Pull with the fingers, make the arms nice and long, and then with the thumbs, pull back to that nice opening across the chest and activation in the back. Sweep the arms to the sky as you inhale, and as you exhale, let's pull the butt back while we keep the arms up. Just a slight overload along that posterior chain of the back itself. And on the next exhale, let it fold all the way down, and then step it back. Sorry, let's reorient the body and step it back to the plank. Now, the plank pose, I'd like you to slowly lower your knees just by bending them towards the mat, just so that they barely touch. You just feel the touch of the mat on the kneecaps, and then bring straightness back to the legs. Drive your heels backwards, and then pull your hips up and back. Feel nice. Lengthening those lower leg muscles. Let's go down there. Most people just need your calves, but there's so much more down there. Now, slowly come back to plank. Slowly let the chest drop through the arms. Keep that chest dropping through the arms and slowly bend the knees and let them just lightly touch the mat. And drive the heels back. Pull the hips up and back to down dog. Bottom, work going for our shoulders right now. Not been intensified quite yet. Still opening up the body. Heels drive to the back. Up onto the tippy toes. And then back to your plank. Lower down onto the knees. As you walk your hands back to your body, I like you to separate the knees to the width of your mat. And keep the toes tucked under. Bring the ball, big toe, the heel of each foot together. And I'm going to grip the hips backwards. So you can feel muscle release here. Primarily focus on the inner thighs. Let's walk the hands forward. We'll take this to the upper body. Picture the spine is nice and long. So we're not flexing, we're practicing deeper rotation. We're practicing that elongation. Take a couple breaths here. Deep compression. Open your mind with these classes. So good. I try to make the muscles anticipate how our performance. Back in. As I mentioned, we have a little focus on shoulders today. Let's expand or widen out the knees and feet. Let's take that right hand and then kind of walk it underneath the left. And walk it with the palm facing out, sorry. And then take your left hand, walk it forward. So we're going to come down and spread the knee, shoulder gently push towards, but you govern the center. Take it down as far as it feels comfortable. Realize all the while, still warming up. Now, let's start to arise out of this position. Reposition your right hand. Take the left hand threaded. Get that spine long as we rotate. Try to get that left shoulder towards our mat. And we take another couple of breaths. Hopefully we're beginning to feel the warming of our body. Let's come back up onto all fours. Kirsten wants to stay there all day. Good night, Kirsten. All right, let's bring the hands as wide as the mat. Let's do the same with the feet and the knees. So we have a very wide four-legged posture. This is kind of like a 6-point touch right now. We've got 2 hands, 2 knees, 2 feet or sets of toes, and an independent touch in our mat. We're going to float the knees up off the mat and then gently lower them down. So it's not a thudding type of thing going on. It's a gentle lift and a gentle lower. Now let's hold in the low spot, hold down, and take your chest and push through the arms. And then take the knees up off the mat, slowly, and then slowly lower down and hold. And while we work to push the chest back through those arms, pick the back of the head and pull to the sky. So if you notice you release that, you saw the shoulders kind of drift forward in this posture. Try to pull them back, pull them away from that center line of the body. And then once again, let's take the knees up, take the back of the head, lift it to the sky, and then lower down. And then we're going to modify this one more time. Before we lift up this time, hollow out your belly button, like lift it up into the spine. You're sucking it in. Keep that up, come lift with the knees. Lower back down and walk the hands back into the body. Nice. So come up into a kneeling position. I get to see all your bright smiley faces. Draw the shoulders to the sky. Open the palms, cup the fingertips. Sweep backwards. Sweep forwards and up. Take the hands to the sky. Nice. Now, let the hips slowly lower, not down onto the heels. I'm going to hover them above the heels. We have a forward lean. I like you to lean and bend a little more. And as you do so, I like to try to take that rounding out of the back. So as we lean in, you have this kind of arching going on the lower back. I like you to engage the 6-pack, kind of flatten out that area. Now, if you can, take the right arm, reach a little higher, and then reset it back to its spot. Same thing with the left, and lower, alternating left to right. And we're hollowing out as we raise and lower the arms. Now, hold both down. Give me a proud chest. Draw those shoulders back. Take the gaze of the eyes, sky, lower the chin, and pull the back of the head to the sky. Proud of that chest. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, sweep down and back. Open the palms, cup the fingers, draw back. Now take your elbows, put a slight bend in them, and lift those elbows high to the sky. As you inhale, let's bring the hands forward, elongating the fingers, bringing baby finger to baby finger, Kirsten's favorite pose. Forearm to forearm, serving out the tray. Extend it out a little deeper. And as you release, keep the little bend in the elbows, cup the fingers, draw the elbows back. Big, big, big pull. Proud, proud, proud chest. Exhale, hands come forward. Baby fingers, forearms. Extend as you inhale. And then exhale, bring hands over heart. Step your and then step your left foot forward. And then come up into a lunge type of position. So when we do the hands over heart, that kind of makes it a hands-free operation. We use more of our primal muscles, like the legs, for example. Now I have a little bend in my knee. I have a little forward lean with my body. I'm going to intensify a little bit by taking the upper body and hinging. Now, a chop point, you know, when you chop suey something, you can kind of fold it in half. Chop point here is our hips. So that means nothing else, no joint, no ankle, no knee, nothing else is hinging or folding, but the hip itself. Spine is long. Let's lean in a little more. Now you should feel a nice pressurization. Where?
Your butt.
In your butt, right. A little tension going on there. Now we're going to work that tension a little bit by taking the heel of that left foot, pushing it into the mat, focusing down there, and then straightening out that front leg, and then bending the front knee. Now bend it more and let the toes kind of push forward of the toes of that foot. Now, big pressurization in the front part of the foot. Let's drift the hips backwards, lower that right heel towards the earth. Once that left heel can weight a lot, straighten the leg, and then keep the legs straight and lean in a little more this time. Nice. Now, up, step forward the back foot, step back the opposite foot. How's that for transition, folks? Nice. Now, same kind of setup. We've got a bend in the knee. We're going to fold in a little more. And then fold in a little more. Remember the hips, the chop point. And then fold in a little more. And then we're going to take that right heel, push it into the mat, and bring some straightness to that right leg. And then we're going to let the right knee bend, push forward. Feel the weight pressure change in the foot. We're going to work that backwards as we drift the hips back. The left heel drives to the earth, the right heel drives into the earth, and the right leg straightens. Let's bend the right knee again, coming back down. Let the knee push well forward of the toes. Lean in a little more. And this time, let's bring the hands to the earth and step the foot back. Give me one push up. And since that felt so good, give me another one. And give me one more. And today, because we're all like to overachieve a little bit and we're working shoulders, not that this is really a shoulder exercise, but some shoulder muscles, I'm going to give you one more. Push back up, pull up and back to down dog. Go back to plank. Hold here. Let the chest kind of drop in between the arms. Pull back to down dog. Back to plank. Let the chest drop into the arms. Keep it dropping into the arms. Pull the hips up and back. Down dog. Drive the heels to the earth. Push up to the tiptoes. Heels drive earth and both feet step forward. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Keep the back in extension. Let's take a little visit down to our feet and where we feel our body's weight. Let's drift forward. Feel how the front part of the foot loads up with weight. And your heels might lift slightly off the mat, that's fine. Now we're going to drift backwards. As the heels begin to connect with the mat, you feel muscle activation happening in the back part of the foot. We're going to drift back more till most of the weight bearing is in the heel. Nice. Now, step your feet out to the sides of the mat. Off the sides of your mat. And then take your butt and then lower it down. And then bring your forearms onto the inner thighs, and keep the butt low and start to unhinge. Nice. So kind of like a modified sumo squat, right? Okay, our legs a little less narrow than our normal. And now we're going to reach down the hands. We're going to bring the fingertips aiming backwards. And we're going to try to lower the hips like we're sitting on a European toilet. This is the European toilet pose, right? Now, round the chest, drive the heels to the earth, raise that butt. That was a nice stretch for the hips. We're going to step the hands back down, step back, the feet to plank. And then we're going to do the hover high, hover low. How many times this time, Kirsten? 1. 4 times. Good job. Down 1, down 2, down 3, and down 4. Hold down. No, not happening, says Kirsten. Now, I'm going to walk myself back a little bit so my face is not on the wood floor here. And I'm going to keep the back of my head elevated so that my nose is just above the mat itself. Just high enough so you can hear my scratchy voice. So, the fact that our face is not on the mat means we have muscle active in the back part of the head, lifting it up off. So, we're going to leverage that a little bit. We're going to take our hands. We're going to walk them so the palms face onto the earth, straight down by our hips. Fingers are aiming down at your toes. You can get your palms down by your hips, face down like that. We're not going to have to get you into surgery right away. So we flip the palms down, fingers pointing towards the toes. And we have some elbows up in the air. I'd like you to kind of take those elbows and lift them higher to the air. And if your palms slide forward a little bit, that's good. That's what should be happening. Now, we're going to take the elbows and squeeze them together. Oh! And as you're doing that elbow squeeze, so enjoyable, hollow out your belly. Hold the belly button up and into the spine. You are compressing in the neck because this is a lot of stress. Please don't overexert. On your next breath, bring the hands back on your shoulders, pull your hips up and back to child's pose. You set up the parameters, narrow, wide leg, or wide knee. Just take a couple breaths here. So we finish up our warm-up, get ready to work. I'm going to get you back onto all fours. When you're ready, you'll still be ready at the end of the class. We're going to drop the shoulders into the ears. Sorry, our chest through the shoulders. I'm going to take the ears and make sure that they're elevated higher than the shoulders themselves. And I'm going to take the feet, I'm going to open them so that they're a little wider than the mat. And then we're going to take the knees up. I'm going to draw the knees in towards each other. Draw the hips backwards. Let the knees lower down and pull back hips. Let the spine go into flexion. Extend the spine. Those little muscles off the side of your hips feel going up. Enjoy. Come back forward. Elevate the knees. Float them together a little more if you can. Grip the hips backwards. Let the spine flex. Extend the spine as you inhale. And when you're ready, step the feet in line with the knees. Pull the hips up, back to down dog. And then step both feet forward. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Register the weight in the feet. Drift the hips backwards. Get the heels loaded up. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Bend both knees. And then explode to the sky. Inhale as you stand. Bring the hands together. Bring over heart. Good morning again. Now, let's take that right arm, push it up into the sky. Let's take the right hand, open it so it's kind of cupped, and let's sweep across the midline of the body, and we're going to push the right hip out to the side. Now, you know when you climb a mountain, you're kind of reaching for the higher point. You've got that big claw. So use the claw and reach higher. Just reach further out. And then come back center. Switch sides. Up. Bend slightly through the elbow. Hip, left hip, pushing. Reach the claw. Reach it a little more. And then come back up center. Put the hands over heart, push the hands up. So elbows are shoulder height. Open up. So we got a field goal type thing. Now, I like you to lift your shoulders up and then pull your shoulders backwards and then just kind of hang up. Make sure the neck is nice and loose. You're going to take your palms and you're going to rotate down. Now, as you rotate down, let's try to elevate. Keep the elbows high. So we have a nice plane where the hands and shoulders are in the relative same height. Separate the fingers and then cup them. Elbows up a little higher. Elbows pull back a little more. Back of head lifts to the sky. Chest is proud. Hollow out that belly. Now, sweep the arms back up and rotate back down and up. So you're like the big scary monster trying to put your claws on something. How's that for a vivid description? Nice. Up. Now, straighten out the hands. Take the palms, rotate them out to the sides of the body. Draw the elbows into the body. And then push the hands all the way out to form a Y. And that's not a question, of course. That's just a shape we're trying to achieve. Elbows in. Make another Y appear. And then elbows in. And this time, as you push out to the Y, elevate the shoulders. Let them go up to the ears. Take a little visit. And then bring hands over heart and fold halfway forward. Let's separate your feet to the width of the mat. Run the sides of the feet parallel to the mat. And in fact, let's just step the toes in so that they're more aimed towards the midline, the center part of the mat, keeping long through the spine. Let your hips drift back. Give me the weight bearing without toppling. The weight bearing in the heel. Nice. Now, slowly lower, hinging. Chop point is the hips. Spine long. Folding down. Fingers arriving upon the mat. Butt pushing to the air. Take your feet now and step the toes so that they're off your mat slightly or open. Drop your hips down. Take your hands, walk them through your feet so that fingers are aiming backwards. We're kind of going into the European toilet sit here. Holding down, doing that nice stretch. Right now, our shoulders are rounded inwards. That's normal for this, but we're going to work on reversing that. Now we're going to push up back with the hips. Step back with the hands. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Keep that in place. Release the fingertips off the mat and extend the arms forward. Now take your elbows, draw them backwards, lift them to the sky, and bring the baby fingers onto the sides of your hips. Hopefully your palms are aiming towards the earth or have an angle at the earth. Take the elbows, squeeze together. Take the heels, try to spiral them away from the center line. And as you do so, let's open up upper body. Now that we're in a standing position, let's step those toes back in. As we bring straightness to our legs, let's take the ball of each big toe and connect it to the mat Doesn't matter if the baby toe lifts off, that's all good. Take the elbows and squeeze together. Give me a nice proud chest. Give me length through the spine. Imagine you're growing right from the toes all the way up to the spinal column and the head. And then lift the hips backwards. Weight bearing mostly to the heel. Folding, folding, folding. Elbows now squeeze together. Take the toes, try to spiral them in. As you inhale, unhinge, all the way up to standing. Release the arms and bring hands over heart. Great job. Step in, more of an athletic stance. Feet a little wider than hips. Take the left knee, raise it into the air, and step that left foot back. So we're doing this in hands over heart. Step forward, and opposite side steps back. Step forward, and switch. So we're just practicing a basic movement, all the lines. And then after we've done this one more time, we're going to stand tall. And then without the assistance, but you can always use your hands if you need to, right? You know you can. But without assistance, I want you to try to take your left foot behind your right and come down onto your mat. So the left knee gently lights down, and then let the left hip come down to the earth. Right, go to the low bit of the butt. And then take your leg, cross it over, kind of lotus or half lotus. Have a seat. Nice. Now, in this half lotus type position, or whatever it is that works best for your body, we're going to take the hands, release them on here, and then we're going to walk forward to that nice release. Hopefully over your right hip, and on how you have your legs forward. And walk back up. Now that we're in this seated pose, we're going to bring hands back over heart. Beautiful. Now take the right hand and reach it onto the back of the head, or sorry, onto the nape of the neck. Behind the head onto the nape. So the fingertip is kind of right on that little bony area in the back. That's your atlas plexus. That's the mythological guy that held the big globe on his shoulder. That little bony part that sticks back. You can kind of feel that. That's great. Should feel a nice release along the side, hopefully along the front. Going to lift a little higher the elbow. Crowd out that chest. Big gaze gets to the sky. Look it up there. And then bring it all the way back down. Switch sides. The elbow to the sky. Now, as the elbow lifts to the sky, it has like the upward, and then there's the exterior rotation. So we're going to start to grip the elbow backwards as we begin to open. Think of two actions, up and then out. Crowd the chest, lengthen that neck, and then release back down. Step the legs out. Boom. Boom. Extend the arms out. Shoulder width apart. Extend the fingers straight. Take the tailbone and let it kind of roll down onto the mat. And then as you hollow out your belly, lower the upper body down onto your mat. Extend the arms all the way back. Bring the arms back up over your chest. And then slowly drop the chin into your chest and raise up the upper body. Keep the spine in C curve. Keep it actively working to be flexed. Dive the fingers between the feet and then try to extend that dive. Now inhale, lengthen that upper body. As the spine lengthens, walk the fingertips back in. Back to our staff pose. Take a big inhale. On the exhale, extend the hands forward. Going to sweep the right arm across, and I'm going to use the left forearm on the back of that arm, that right arm, and gently pull in. Make the chest proud. Let's not make it sorry. Let's make sure we're not getting into inward rotational practices. We're externally rotating the spine. We're growing the spine. And then let's release. Come back forward. Switch sides. Take a couple breaths. And then release. Bring hands over heart this time. Hollow out the belly. 1. Slow. Vertebrae. At time. All the way down. Extend the arms all the way out. This time we're going to ready to evacuate by pulling the knees up into our chest as we sweep down and grab hands over kneecaps. We're going to walk forward to back and come all the way onto the toes, pedaling the hands through. Beautiful. As you inhale, extend the legs to the sky. That's pull the butt up is another way to say that. As you inhale, lengthen the upper body. Keeping that spine in extension, drift the hips backwards. As you bend both knees, let the arms sweep sideways as we rise up and salute. Beautiful. Bring hands over hearts. We're coming back down again, opposite side. Like that little nice stuff, eh? Now, take the right foot, step it behind the left foot. And then slowly lower that right knee towards the earth. This one's a little more controlled for me, but it's a little balance. But you're going to have a stronger side. And bringing a little fold, crossing the legs. I can do half lotus. You can do whatever feels best for you. And the fingertips, tips drop onto the mat and walk it out. So we have a very complex nervous system that regulates the movement of our body. And one of the things you'll notice is not necessarily complexity of it, but when the body starts to go to practices like stretching, the nervous system registers that. It's to facilitate the process of what you release. Stretch, walk back in, and reprogramming what we do is very important. So let's bring hands back over heart. Next, now we got a different opener. We're going to do a different opener this time. So we're going to take the fingertips. We're going to open the palms and bring the fingertips, which is kind of a cupped hand, to the back. And then I have got my chest like lifting to the sky. Make sure my head's part of this whole program. We're going to draw the head to the sky and walk the fingertips back a little more. And then we're going to walk them out. So we're going to have a little bit of an angle away from the center line of the body. And we're going to walk the fingertips back a little more. Then we're going to walk them out to the side a little more. Then we're going to keep that proud chest nice and active. Hollow out your tummy. Beautiful. Just hold like this. Walk back in. Extend the legs straight out. Let's release that. And then hands come back over hearts. And we slowly follow up. Slow it down one at a time. Oh, yes. Let's take the bottoms of both feet together. Right. And so our knees are laid open on display. Now, just gently side to side rock the hips so that pelvic girdles rock that will tail on. In my space, girl. Already now. All the legs back together. Step the feet out to the sides of the mat. Let's take your low back, and it's a complicated thing, but in essence, what you're trying to do is roll on your tailbone. So feel the tissue, skin, low back, next with your mat. And then we're gonna add in the hollowed out belly. So I'm gonna ask you to pull in that strong, amazingly strong six pack, hollowing out the tummy. And take your hands straight up into the air, right over your chest. Drop the chin in towards your chest, and then rotate the palms to face forward, and then lower the arms while you try to lift with the sternum. That's that breastplate. You're going to lower the hands about knee height. You'll notice, hopefully, that your body's existing behavior is very prevalent. That's your shoulders have pushed forward, right? You're kind of reaching the shoulders forward to get that length. We're going to change that slightly. We're going to draw the shoulders up towards the ears, and then take your sternum and try to pull it higher to the sky. So you're lifting more of the shoulder carriage off the mat. And then take your hands and lower them down and then raise them up. And as you move the arms, I want you to control the behavior of the shoulders. So we're not reaching the shoulders forward, actually have retraction of the shoulders. We're retracting towards the ears. Now make the arms move faster. And if you feel your abdominal muscles working, it might feel it in your neck. That's fine. If you need to take a break, please do. And then make the arms go as fast as you can. Stop, and then lower everything back to the mat. Extend the legs all the way out and extend the arms all the way above the head. Bring the arms beside the body. Again, this may not seem like a good shoulder release, but it actually is very beneficial. So the shoulder blades now, I'm going to take a second just to register what you feel is resting on the mat relative to your shoulder blades. Is it kind of like a ridge, or you like step out the shoulders a little bit, feel like a larger surface area? Now, if you want to have that larger surface area, now as we do that, I like you to kind of take the sternum, that breastplate, and pull it to the sky. That's crowding on the chest of sorts. Your belly button, with gravity helping this time. All out the time. Pull it towards the spine. Those arms long, fingers are the cups, so the tips touching. Step your feet out and then step them in each or two. Just a subtle little bit, just a bit of break, but bend in the knees. With the heels hip width apart. Turn the thighs into touch, and then the baby toes or big toes want to join the party. Let them. Now take your thighs, squeeze them together, hollow out that tummy even more, and crowd out that chest. And now try to lift the hips up by pushing the heels actively into the mat of yours as you squeeze even harder your thighs. Squeeze them and drive. Lower back down. Extend the legs out and bring the hands above the head. We're only going to do this exercise twice today, so this next time is the best effort, right? All right, let's take it on. Let's bring the arms down beside the body again. Up the fingers, tips are touching. Let's hollow out the tummy to start. Let's crowd up the chest to make sure our blades are nice or as flat as we can get them as we step the left and right foot in. The heels hip width apart. As we rotate internally to get the thighs touching, the big toes come along. Now we're going to add flexion of the foot. So we're going to pull the top of the foot in towards the shin. So we got that muscle front, highly active. Let's squeeze those thighs ever more. And then push from the heels and try to lift up. Push the fingertips, try to elevate as much height as you can and give you as much inward rotation effort. Squeeze those thighs. And then lower back down, extend it all the way back out. Enjoy that nice length for the whole body. And as you release the next breath, pull the knees up into the chest, forehead up to meet the knees. So rock and roll, front to back, up to a seated position. Nice. Cross your legs, preferred method. Beautiful. Let's take our hands, open them so we have wide enough gap off the hips, but the palms are facing forward. Now, inward rotation is a bitch. It's very hard to beat it because it becomes ingrained in our movement patterns. But as we sit here now, like you to kind of practice that external rotation of the spine, the lengthening of it, the decompression. Draw the shoulders up to the ears, pull the elbows together a little more. Beautiful. Now, sweep the palms outward, upward, keeping that nice cross shoulder activation. Cup those hands. Remember, we kind of did this earlier, kind of like a cat claw. And then as you work to pull the elbows backwards, reach the claws up into the sky, straighten through the arms, and then pull the elbows back and continue to pull them back as they descend in towards your side body. Beautiful. And then push back up. Extend. Bring hands over hearts. And fold forward. Oh. Walk the hands out. Final extension. Inhale. Walk the hands back. Switch the cross of the legs. Bring the hands back over heart and then up the fingertips. So we have like a melon in between the hands. We're going to extend the arms forward this time. So we lengthen the spine. Do so also with the neck. If the arms, the fingertips push to each other, raise them to the sky. Try not to bend through the elbows to gain elevation. This elevation is when we're trying to activate certain muscles. And if you bend the elbows, you're going to lose them. As you inhale, extend. As you exhale, bring hands over hearts. And then slowly, one vertebrae at a time. So we can't cantilever the same way with the legs extended. It's going to require a little more effort. And if it finds too much for you, you can extend the legs out. But we're down one at a time. I get to a certain point and it says, game over, go down. And let's step the feet. Hip width apart. Heels are probably about 2, maybe 4 inches off your butt. And then, like we practiced earlier, now we've got that flesh. I have spatial issues. All right, so like we talked about before, the tissue, the skin, the low back, like you kind of like play with your pelvic girdle a little bit so that you kind of pull the pubis up to the sky. You feel the sensation of that skin getting more weighted, and that's really the lumbar spine elongating. So with that extension of that lumbar spine, and we can also extend the thoracic spine by pushing the chest to the sky. And to hollow out your belly, we're just going to hold in this for a couple breaths. This is probably nearing what your body was able to do in your 20s, early 30s. So we're just going to enjoy this. This is really imprinting the brain, brain's registered everything you do. How to get back to this best we can. Just make it better health for your spine. Just going to take a few seconds. Back of the chest, all over the belly, growing the spine, really deep. Let's take the right leg, reach it over the left, pull into the chest, both knees. As we return back to the earth, swim sides. Let those feet of yours return down to your knees. Separate them with the planks. And now we're going to line it back in the seated position by pulling the knees up and in. We're just going to take a little rotation. We're going to loosen the hips a little bit. Pull back in the knees this time. Bring the forehead up to touch. You'll get it as close as possible. Rock and roll front to back. Up into a seated position. I can see your right happy smiling faces. Cross the legs whichever way you prefer. Let's bring hands over heart. And let me thank you for joining us today. Appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. And now it's time to chat. Namaste. Thank you. How is everyone doing today?
Hello.
Hello.
Good. Thank you. I'm stretched out. This is good.
How was your golf day?
It was freezing, but it was fun. And I mean cold. I don't mean, when it's hot here, it's hot like Florida. It was cold. I don't know what temperature, but anyway, we had fun. We were only 8. So it was easy breezy. Wasn't a big tournament.
How did you play?
Oh, yeah. We did. One of my clients was she's had knee surgery, so she just putted out. She putted at the end. She would putt. I hit every 5th shot was really good.
Good.
That's it. I don't count. I really don't count there because, and the other ones were playing best ball, so it's all good.
Yeah.
That's fun. I wasn't sore the next day, which was really good.
Oh, that's
Because I was twisting and turning, yeah.
good.
And not in a good way. Exactly.
How are you doing today?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, how are you doing? Here's
All is fine. I just returned from a long walk with Luna and ready for Sunday.
Good.
It's kind of warm here.
what's the temperature there?
It's about 84, but it's sticky. So
Just like
Humidity.
here.
Yeah. Yesterday here was brutal. We had just before the class started, we had a huge rainstorm. So it kind of blew in and then blew out. And then it was so humid. So as we're doing the class, it just felt like we were swimming through the whole
I
thing. It
know.
was so thick.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You'll be hot when you're in Miami.
Yes.
that's fine. I'm okay with hot. I hope it doesn't rain all day because
Oh, it won't.
No,
No,
this is funny. It does set in. There are some days where it's like all cloudy, but most of the times it just
Yeah.
blows in and blows out. So
okay, good. Because I looked and there were like 3 rainy days and like, oh gosh, I just need to.
That could be 10 minutes of rain, or it could be in the middle of the night and not even during the day.
There you
Right,
go.
that's what I need.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, kids. Well, happy Sunday, happy brunch.
Yeah.
See you Tuesday.
Bye bye.
have a
Love
great
you,
weekend.
ladies.
Long weekend.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah. Labor.
Labor.
Bye.
Bye.